Hello, Aiden Bart, and welcome to your deck review. For those of you joining us on YouTube for the first time, this is a series where I, Maldhound Unknown, hater and shit talker, will politely and lovingly talk about your commander deck's weird little PP. Your PP being your premise and your practicum. Your premise is the idea behind your deck. For this deck, it appears to be infinite 9/9s. Your practicum is what actually goes on in the 99s. We're going to spend a little bit of time talking about this person's idea, whether or not they will have to make compromises to it, or whether it is just full steam ahead. And then we'll look at what makes up the steam currently, what we could switch out to make it more effective. So we want to get the Capitoline Triad, right? Yep, Capitoline Triad. If we exile historic cards with mana value 30 or greater from our graveyard, we get an emblem which is uninteractable. It says creatures you control have base power and toughness 9/9. We're doing that with Zelix and Scion of Halaster. This is presumably just to be in the right colors. And then we can make a bunch of 1/1 black horror creature tokens. These will instead be made as 9/9s. And we have a way to mill ourselves in the command zone. Now, my first worry about this idea is this seems like a pretty slow way to get there, right? We're gonna get one card into our graveyard. We're gonna get one card into our graveyard every turn, and then three more. So we'll get four cards into the graveyard every turn. Not bad. That to me, okay. That's not bad. That to me does not seem like I'm gonna play Capitoline Triad every game. That seems to me like I am going to have some type of reanimation or some type of graveyard strategy that does go off every single game, because I'm gonna get access to a fair amount of my deck. But I don't know if I would be as confident in this one specific thing is going to occur every single. So what else do we have in the primer? Torn between Zelix and Scion, or Ancient One as my commander. Ooh, okay. I think Ancient One is almost inarguably better, right? Because Scion and Zelix are going to get us four cards into the graveyard every turn if we commit one mana ongoing, and we spend 5 mana to get the two of them out here. So for 6 mana, we get four cards into the graveyard. For 7, we get 8. For 8, we get 12. For Ancient One, we draw discard. So for 6 mana, we mill equal to the biggest thing we can discard. You have 18 high CMC things. Okay, so maybe we get like 7 or 8. So for 6 mana, we get 8 cards in the graveyard. For 10, we get 16. That doesn't actually outpace Zelix. It doesn't actually outpace them that quickly. And there is the argument of Zelix makes us chump blockers. So let's proceed with Zelix for the time being, because I do also like we get to surveil one every upkeep to dig a little bit faster. Should I commit to just discard or just self mill? Discard seems nicer, as I can drop the bombs in rather than having to RNG them from the top, but mill seems like I can get more in at once. Thoughts? I would say you don't have to commit to just one or the other. Never try to 50-50. It's a very common thing people like to do when they see two synergies that appear to have an overlap. You can definitely go for 80-20. I would be going like 80-20 mill, mill versus discard the thing that I want in the graveyard, because you don't really have specific wants for the graveyard. All you really care about for the graveyard is like, hey, do you cost $1 million? Right? If you're putting Triplicate Titan versus Dawning Archaic versus Phyrexian Triniform into the graveyard to exile with Capitoline Triad, I don't think it matters to you. That would lead me to be like, I'm gonna spend most of my time. I'm gonna spend most of my time milling. Maybe I'll have one or two ways to discard if like a super important thing gets stuck in hand. But even those I would limit to like frantic search. Maybe I would play a blue wheel. maybe I would play like, you could do card draw that's like thirst for knowledge, thirst for discovery, thirst for identity. Because you're gonna have big creatures you can discard, you're gonna have big artifacts you can discard, and then maybe you can like choose to discard two instead. I would actually probably do. I might even do the thirsts over factor fiction. We have so many high CMC cards. I feel like it's probably likely one to two of them end up in your hand without really being worth a ton. Interaction of some kind. Darksteel, that's not interaction. That's not interaction. There we go. But on lands, not interaction. Okay, all right. A little bit of one-sided board wipe. Okay, I see you. So we have some protective cards, but we have like nothing to do to stop anybody else. That definitely seems wrong to me. Graveyard filling. God, I hate Codex Shredder here. God. I mean, you're not wrong. It do it Scooby Dooby Doo fill the graveyard. Bless you, baby. It Scooby Dooby Doo fill the graveyard. On anything but turn one, I think we hate this, right? Like this is a good, it's in my opening hand. I play it with my first land, and it is like a dog shit terrible card every other time. Okay, we have an X spell, and I feel like it's impossible to talk about what's going on with this graveyard filling and not talk about why we have fucking 22 pieces of ramp. So I'm imagining we have way too much. Like whatever the plan is, we have way too much. I'm imagining this became the plan because we realized, oh, I have all of these super expensive things. They get stuck in my hand. I should have something to do with them. And so I'm going to make a ton of the stuff in my deck ramp so that if nothing else, I can play these cards. I think that I think that is almost a good impulse. What I would say you should do is if you want to do that, our standard for what we include needs to be higher. If we want to do like, okay, well the goal, I'm gonna mill all these guys, I'm gonna exile them. Everything I make is a 9/9. Delix is gonna make me a ton of 9/9s. That's gonna be so fucking fun. Okay, we should. I don't think we should be as committed to artifacts. We should just be committed to like gigantic, terrifying historic creatures and like big historic creatures that will win us the game. So what we want to be in bracket three, like if I'm imagining big historic creature that I can exile to turn my board into 9/9s, or if it gets caught in my hand, it's great to play. Right? Easy. Easy. I'll just play super Ristic Study on a body. And then if I make him a 9/9, fucking phenomenal. Or I'm imagining like, hey, guy who's already a 9/9, but if I play him, if I reanimate him, he is like super taking over the game. Versus like Wondrous Crucible, it's here. Triplicate Titan, bro's here. Like bro is scary. He's not as scary as Valgavoth. I think like the same goes for Thought Monitor. The same goes for Thopter Assembly. Now, Thopter Assembly, I think, still stays in the deck because of how funny it is to drop 5/9/9 Thopters onto the field after you do the Capitoline Triad thing. But I think right now we like, if you want Plan B to be, I will ramp to these guys. Like right now we have, I will mill these huge dudes. Great. I think we can do that. And Plan B is I will ramp and play these huge dudes. You have to take a beat from Green's playbook when they do mono green ramp stompy, which is everything is just this like fucking insane self-contained threat. Like straight up, this guy's not good enough. People love this guy. He's not good enough. He doesn't have his text box is empty. His text box is nothing. I don't think I don't even love Karn here. He'd be a big 11/11, but we don't have a mana dump. And then like Forge and Monolith, like they're making our artifacts indestructible. Our commander's not an artifact. The 9/9s we're trying to make aren't artifacts. Like I think too many of our high CMC bombs that we might be ramping to uh, don't draw us enough cards and do not single-handedly threaten enough terrible things to our opponents. Yeah, like size seems crazy to me. So I think that's the core friction of this deck is we're caught in between am I am I ramping into high CMC historic or am I ramping into high CMC artifact stuff? Because I think the artifact stuff is preventing you from having enough interaction, right? Like instead of having real interaction, we have we have Palladium Mirror, we have Vibranium Dynamo, um, we have like trading posts to try to do more cute artifact payoff stuff. I think it would work better if you just went is high CMC, is historic. I'm going to change a little bit of my card draw around to enable me to discard because I do have so many of these guys that one or two will probably get stuck in hand. But discard is never its own thing. I don't need to play any cards where the only purpose is to discard. I would just play stuff that let me discard while doing other things that I like. So another great example of that, the removal spell Bitter Triumph. This is great removal, and we can go, all right, discard Metalwork Colossus, or whatever that big fucking 11 CMC dickhead was. So then you could do discard outlet, O-tag, card, advantage. Then we could do Commander Dimir. Yeah, like 3 steps ahead. Great interaction that is also a draw discard outlet, can also make a copy of one of our best historic creatures. Um, the City could do it. Malcolm could do it and would be kind of funny for this deck because this would get dedicated big stuff into your graveyard. And when you got 4 more chorus counters on Malcolm, this lets you get the big crazy historic stuff back out. I think Chart a Course is very reasonable as card draw. I don't think we're doing a lot of instants and sorceries. Shit, you could run Psychic Frog. Shit, hold on. Wait a minute. Maybe I'm more on discard than I thought. I think this would be pretty bad, but I think he would be pretty cute. Um, oh, I do like Shoreline Looter actually. Like this guy is just a decent, unblockable early loot engine that will then just become a card positive engine. So I think the thesis statement here is don't play discard outlets just to discard. There are things you can do in this archetype that will discard the high CMC stuff for you while doing other good stuff that you like. And I think the main thing we need to do is up the level of the individual threats or abandon the ramp. Like if you really want to keep okay, they're all artifacts, they're all colorless. I never want to worry about mana fixing, then I would worry about playing them a lot less and I would be much higher on interaction. I would be higher on tutors. I would be higher on specific card advantage so that I could find Capitoline Triad way quicker and I could turn these Zelix 1/1s into 9/9s and I would probably even be milling other people too because this is whenever any player mills one or more creature cards. So if we want to make the 9/9 printing factory crazy, we either got to get other people involved or we need way more aggressive self mill engines on our end. So I think those are really your two options is either this section has to support scarier historic permanents that are just like by themselves, this guy's a fucking problem. Or you drop the ramp section, you accept that you're probably not playing any of these things, you are just reanimating them, you are just exiling them. Um, cut that right now. Cut that right now. Cut that right now. Cut that right now. So cut those right now for anything. Cut that right now. And then this is insane greed. Insane greed from the Bible. We're not flickering this guy. I I really think trying to be on this artifact sub theme is what's killing you. And I think as you move, as you can still have like, okay, some of these are going to be really good and are going to be artifacts. Like Portal to Phyrexia, great artifact. Krang Ultram Warlord, great artifact. And it's like, yeah, he's better if you have other artifact creatures. He's not good enough that I would sacrifice having Valgavoth, that I would sacrifice having. Is Nezahal legendary? Because I know like Con Sphinx isn't actually historic for this. That I would sacrifice like having Nezahal in my deck to just have the artifacts. And then yeah, we got tutors. I think the way you could make this even better, if you were to cut a fair amount of the ramp section, the way you make this better is you run Impulse or Mulch. So Mulch is going to service the graveyard plan a little bit better, but it is going to be like, it's not going to be a super mana efficient game plan. So Impulse, for the most part, you're going to get to go deep, get something, it goes into your hand, but the rest are going to go to bottom, which is not as much what you want as I would really, really like them to go to graveyard. Now, Impulse is typically so much more mana efficient than mulching that you may find yourself willing to impulse, and then you'll just go, okay, I'll tap my commander. I will tap my commander however many times I need to tap my commander, because it's so much better to do stock up than it is to do like relentless revelation. But that is the hold on. It's a card with Sephiroth on it. Resentful revelation. There we go. Then to play something like this, even though this does technically get stuff into your graveyard. So I would experiment with maybe both of these, and then I think you will find, oh, now I have room for interaction, and so if somebody else is the threat, I don't just get fucked immediately. And if you go the route of I'm going to keep the ramp, but I'm going to improve the level of my historic threats, then it's like, ah, I did something more impactful than Arcane Signet, Dimir Signet, fucking Thought Monitor. And I think either of those worlds end up in a happier place than we're currently in. This start has Soul Ring, so we probably don't care about anything, right? So I get both of these out. Main phase, mill 3. No, like I want you all in my graveyard. No, I have the mana for Codex Shredder. I'll get Codex Shredder back. God damn it. This. I get Zelix. Play Codex Shredder. Oh, we have Milliken. God bless. Uh, Oh no, Gifts Ungiven. Fuck me. We have 6 cards in hand. Yeah, this is like another thing where we went engine based. I would probably like with this hand setup, because I'm a rat, I would be like, I have Traumatize in my deck. Because if I have Traumatize in my deck and I hit, like, this is a bad card. I want to be so clear. Like, this is not, ooh, spooky, my combo is so strong, but this is just like, oh, fuck, it's turn 4. I have a reanimation spell in hand. I'm going to Traumatize. Is Capitoline Triad in there? 50-50. And then if they are, please tell me they're a creature I can reanimate with Animate Dead. They are! Woo! So I would both do Traumatize, and then I would probably do Singularity Rupture for the same reasons. Like, you should have some type of board wipe, and normally you want a board wipe that affects you less. This doesn't affect you less, but you can rebuild way more easily because you're going to have a critical mass of reanimation spells that you can draw into, and this will get Italian Triad probably into your graveyard, or at minimum, enough stuff that whenever you do find Capitoline Triad, you can immediately exile them and get to business. So if anybody else runs a deck like this and has different suggestions, please let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I wish you the best, and I do hope this helps.